people and expectations and stuff like that, but working out was the only thing that gave me back what I put into it.
Sure.
So
I see.
I guess as I put on this big structure or whatever, it was exactly the opposite of how I felt on the inside. And,
right.
I didn't learn that until later on in life, because everybody that would meet me, they're always like, man, like, you're not what I think you would be, right? Like,
right,
so
sure.
they're on this persona, and as soon as people sit down and talk to me, they're just like, man, it's like, it's not what I thought you'd be,
Sure.
I thought you'd be this suck up, cocky, arrogant, like, conceited guy, and he's like, you're not at all. I'm like, no.
Just like those bouncers you see that are just kind of hard asses, right? Wearing the suits in New York or whatever. Yeah. So fair enough.
Big teddy bears.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah. So that was a facade, and like, the emotional part of it, in the bodybuilding and the fitness industry, like, it is very unhealthy on the nutrition side of it, even though everybody is like, oh, they look great and like whatever, but it's so not that. Like, there's such a small percentage that is healthy from the eating and health side of it, but also from the mental side of it, right? With low self-esteem and posting pictures every day of what they look like and their food, like you have to get all these likes just so they can get through the day. Like, it's time to get back and be real and have like true friendships, real talk, real communication with people. You don't need 1,000 people around the world that you've never met. Right. To like say, oh, I like your photo, you look great today.
100%.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Right?
Like, as long as you
good friends and family, you like know who you are, right?
Yeah.
So.
And as long as you think you look good, for sure. That's all that matters. So I guess my story. My name is Shawn Evans, and we're all from London, Ontario. We're in London, Ontario now, anyway. And I had the sort of the lucky draw, I guess, of going on a reality TV show called The Bachelorette USA, which was 2 years ago. Since then, I've been traveling with a really great guy named Tony Lee, who does X-rated hypnotism at the universities and colleges. So I had the pleasure of going across Canada, mainly just Ontario, actually, to perform. And the reason I was able to perform was because I'm actually a certified sex coach. And I know that sounds kind of funny, but this is sort of a new niche in the life coaching field. So it's very new, so I understand if you don't fully get it. But the coaching aspect of it is really what I use some of the tools to help me get through the mental illness and get through stress and anxiety. And when I came off of TV, I was so fucked up because I didn't anticipate. You kind of go from being just sort of a nobody, and then you get skyrocketed down to being on E.T. Tonight, Jimmy Kimmel, and all of a sudden you're like, where the fuck did all this come from? And I didn't even know. I'm a guy that had anxiety disorder to begin with, so I, of course, self-medicated with alcohol, and cocaine was a big friend of mine. And that's how I spent a good 4 months afterwards, trying to just escape reality. And then when I started touring, the big thing for me was trying to push consent. I had kind of seen what was going on in the U.S. with Donald Trump and his locker room talk, and I had seen the Stanford rapist. And I wanted to really push consent, knowing what I did about sex. And then we ended up over in the UK, and I heard some stories over there. And that's the reason why part of this podcast is focused on sex. The other reason why it's focused on the suicide portion is after coming on to, when I was so fucked up getting off TV and going through that spiral of trying to run away and hide from being in the spotlight, I had a best buddy who moved in with me, and he was actually partying with me doing the same things, but I kind of was so self-absorbed, I missed everything that he was going through. And he was so addicted to cocaine and to alcohol, and he had all this mental illness going on. He ended up committing suicide. Death by suicide. We don't want to say committed by suicide anymore. And I lost him on, I found out about it Christmas Eve on December 24th of 2015. I got the phone call on the way to church with my family. So I lost my best buddy to suicide, and ever since it's kind of been a mission of pushing consent and trying to make sure everybody understands how to be mentally healthy. Even though I don't know 100%. We're all guys, none of us are therapists. I mean, we all have a little bit of coaching, I would say. I mean, you being the personal trainer and the knowledge on food with your speaking and the knowledge of mental health when you do your speaking engagements. There's a bit of a mutual coaching background, I think, between all three of us. But we're just people that have gone through these experiences and gone through mental health stuff. And we're here to kind of share our story in hopes that you'll tune in, share yours with us, or else maybe we can be the people that you reach out to find you someone, wherever you are, that you can talk to. So that being said, I think
when you become aware and you've been through like stuff, whatever, and you learn to accept it, at that point, it becomes easier to share, and like you're saying, the coaching part of it. Like a lot of people that go through things, I don't think they really kind of sit back and absorb it all or learn from what they've gone through,
right?
Unless they really accepted it, like if you kind of move their shit out of their way and be like, okay. But I feel when you do, like I got that sense from you, Paulie, and from you, Shawn, the first time, like you do see it. You've gone through the therapy, and you've done some courses, and you actually take that knowledge now and you apply it to yourself, and that's what makes it easier, like to apply it and share it with everybody else, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think a big step comes with self-acceptance, and some of the people we lie to the most are like ourselves, right? Yeah. So you can tell yourself a bunch of different lies to make it through to make anything a benefit, really.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I can do that line of cocaine because this, and this, right? I mean, you can justify anything if you really want to lie to yourself.
I think I'm like, at one time I was like a good enough drug user, or thought that I was hiding it from everyone, that I thought like I could probably sell ketchup to a woman in white gloves.
Really?
Like I could justify.
You're that smooth?
It. I thought I was. I thought I was until I got busted, right?
Yeah.
After $250,000, I thought I was pretty smooth, but maybe up until then I was smooth.
Yeah, no kidding. If you want to hear that story, you can find that on the
podcast.
On the podcast, yeah. So I'll also be, every Sunday, we're going to be sharing the link from the Sex and Suicide podcast. I'll also be sharing the link to Scott's page and Paulie's page directly after. So be sure to give them a like and support them, and also you can reach out to them directly that way as well.
Yeah, for sure.
But is there anything else that you guys think we want to share tonight about the introduction? I mean, it's going to be every Sunday at 7 p.m. for our California friends down here on BidChat. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, so that would be 4 p.m. for you. So enjoy your dinner while you watch it.
Yeah, that's all right.
Right? Yeah. So
I wish I was eating dinner in California right now.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'd rather be right here talking with you guys.
Oh, isn't that nice? So I hope that you guys have gotten something out of this. And the main thing that we wanted to do tonight was really give you a sort of an idea of what we're up to. And if you know anyone, if you or anyone you know can benefit from what we're about to do here, then please let them know to tune in next Sunday. We're going to be talking about what anxiety is, what depression is, and we're going to go from there. And you'll hear some personal experiences from us as well, what we've used to cope. And, with all of us, I think we're all sober now, right?
Yeah,
so, every one of us is sober. So you're going to hear from, and we're not on any anti-anxiety medication, No. So no pharmaceuticals either. And this course is designed to help get you off medication and start focusing on being just yourself the way you're meant to be. Not to say that if you need that medication, you stay on it. But if it's been fucking with you, sometimes medication can fuck with you more.
It did with me. I took like those SSRI antidepressants, and it made me feel more suicidal ideation. So I'm a big fan of like holistic healing and alternative healing and stuff like that. So I don't want to go get a prescription. I'd rather meditate rather than go get a prescription, and that might take longer, but the juice is worth the squeeze.
Absolutely. It's definitely not a Band-Aid. I mean, an anti-prescription medication or an antidepressant or anti-anxiety medication is a pretty quick fix in the morning, right?
Well, I think pharmaceuticals are needed if they are needed, but
for sure.
They're really you have to find a good doctor, right?
Yeah.
To work with you, and it could take a year, whatever, like
longer even.
A close friend of mine that he's on them, and like he needs them, like he can't function in society without them. Like something's chemically wrong.
Yep.
But it took him a long time, and now he's fine. And so he's tried to come off a few other times, and it's not.
It's good. Not
so
okay.
He just needs them. So I mean, there are those people, but
sure.
I think in general, like.
They're overprescribed.
The doctors have no idea what they're doing. They're just like, depressed, here's some Paxil, here's some whatever.
Yeah.
And there's no communication. And as a client coming into the doctor, you're relying on them for their knowledge and to give you good stuff. And they really have no idea.
They don't. Yeah.
They don't know anything about addiction. They took like a chapter on it in med school, right?
Like, it's the same thing with sex.
Whatever.
Yeah. Same thing when we talk about your sexual assault and things. Yeah. A lot of at least in the U.S., I know. Once they become certified therapists, they only need an extra 10 hours of sexology and they can be a sex therapist. Like, that's fucking nuts. How do you deal with someone? How do you say you're a sex therapist and then deal with someone that's been sexually abused like yourself? I mean,
I think for me, like, I had to go to someone, and it was like a journey to talk about that, right? It wasn't that I was going to lay it all out on the line. It took, I mean, I've been in therapy now for 3 years, and I think that, you know, every week for that first year, we slowly got into it, and then I had to finish my court. I think, like, a lot of people were supporting me then, which was cool. I was like 6 months clean when I went to court, and I finally had to, like, get that through to my therapist, and she, bless her heart, you know, like, she set up a plan that she would come to court with me.
Really?
To, like, debrief after that, because she kind of knew the damage that it had done. I'd sat in her office the very first day and told her I was suicidal, and she didn't freak out. She didn't, like, get over dramatic. She just said, like, I want to see you next week.
Yeah.
And, like, that was I think the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me is, like, she genuinely wanted to see me.
Right, and you could feel that.
I could feel it, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't want to, like, get a prescription for me. She didn't want to call an ambulance. She, like, just genuinely cared about me, and I haven't stopped or changed therapists since, right?
Right.
So I think that
you can sense that when you meet somebody, like, when they're good people,
you
know?
For
like,
sure.
Yeah.
Good souls.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. It took 60. I went to 66 counselors.
Wow.
One. So
but that's good. That
they're out there. Right? They're out there, right?
And I'm Irish and I'm stubborn, right? So I was like, I'm going again and again and again.
Good for you.
I think as soon as I found her, I got sober 4 months after I found her, and my life has gone, like, crazy in a great way since then.
Good, man.
I've got to meet an amazing amount of people with unbelievable stories from across Canada, and I think that this is exactly what we need. Like, we need to sit in someone's living room, or we can be in someone else's living room and just talking about normal things that are mental health, addiction, trauma. Like, it doesn't have to be sexual abuse to be trauma, right? Like, there's a lot of trauma. Your car accident, right? Like that trauma does stuff to the you know, like, neurotransmitters in your brain forever, and I think, like, that's not just, like, sexual trauma. Even, that's not
experiences in general, like,
right?
Whatever type of household you grew up in, right?
Yeah.
There could be certain elements of that you don't know how traumatized you until later,
right? That's
and it comes up, and, like, you know, everybody has a story, right? It doesn't matter if it was, like, you know, you're whatever abused or something, like, more dramatic, but, like, everybody has a story in their own way, and, like, so much of the younger generation, we were talking about this last time, like, with social media and, like, on their phones all the time, like, they don't know how to communicate or, like, talk anymore, right? There's so much social anxiety around that because, like, they're stuck behind their screen or their phone that they can't actually communicate or look somebody in the eye and have a conversation, like, you know, shake their hand, you know, it's nice to meet you, kind of thing. Like, that freaks people out, right?
It does.
And, like, I think that's, like, the mental health thing is becoming more and more, like, predominant, and we're going to see more of it coming because of all of this, right?
Yeah,
it's going to get worse and worse. Like, there's so many young people that have, like, severe anxiety disorders. They can't even go to school anymore. Right. And, like, why? Like,
anxiety is becoming a very big issue now. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I never knew what anxiety was. I don't think the word was was never fucking mentioned ever, right?
No.
Until I started getting a little older, and I started thinking, man, maybe that's what I've been dealing with, because I woke up in the morning with my heart pounding, not with no reason why, right? And it was just like I was always nervous.
Right.
But then, and you'll find out in this program, I started thinking of that feeling, the same feeling that makes you nervous is the exact same feeling that you get when you're excited.
Yeah.
So if you start looking at it in a different context and a different perspective, and change your way of change your way of thinking, you can sort of you might feel something that you think you're scared of. You can catch that. You can reprogram your mind and make it into something that's exciting.
Yeah.
So you know, stay with us. I think on that note,
I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
It's great.
So just a couple guys, well, three of us, the three mental health amigos. 3.5. We'll see you guys next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
I'm okay with that. That's good.
So next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Come join us. We'll be on this couch, and we smashed social media, but we couldn't do this without it. So thank you for tuning in. Please share it with anyone that needs it. I can't stress that enough. Whether male, female, it doesn't make a difference. But there's three guys here willing to talk and willing to share. So that's it for us. I'm going to turn the iPad around. Give me a minute, and if you have anything that you want to say to us, This is the first time I've tried to do this, so if I disconnect, I apologize. But you can always reach out to us at any time. Message